Hello, I'm Zoagonart and welcome to the studio. So, without much further ado, quite what an ado is, I'm not sure, we shall do some more of this. I want to work a little bit on this black shadow here, because it's not, oh well, it's a shadow, it's just not black. I want this to be darker. So it's not, I was about to say it's not too difficult to make it darker. It's a little difficult, but it's really just a case of going over it again, maybe once or twice, and just cooking it a little bit more. Yeah, that will probably be okay if I get it that like that. So here it's just a matter of slowing down or going slow, just to make sure there's plenty of heat gets applied to the wood. Now then, you can more or less see it here, but it kind of fades out around the back, and I quite like that. Don't know. Might leave that like that. Something I'll have to decide on, because I'm not sure whether it actually would be there, but whether it should be there or not, I think it looks quite good being there, so it may get left irrespective. Now that's okay because it kind of fades in, so we'll leave it like that. Okay, fair enough, Wolfie. Good evening to you and welcome to the studio again this evening. Okay, that's looking more like I'd expect a shadow to look like, so we'll just carry on. Finish this last little bit down under here, and then we'll look at more shading around the head. Figured it was time to do the final shading on this bit. Although having said it's the final shading, it may well just come back and do some more, but I'm expecting this to be the last of the shading that I do. On this part. Okay, now I've got a couple of here, you won't necessarily see them on screen. I've got a couple here of quite abrupt can't think of the word. I keep wanting to say translations, it's the wrong word. Transitions, that's the one I'm looking for. So I just need to soften them off. You can see them here, but the camera's not picking it up. Right, so now we go back on to doing some more on the face. So I guess I ought to really think about doing the ears as well. Okay. And what I also need to do actually is do a little bit more around this muzzle actually, because it's a little bit light. I noticed that yesterday after the stream ended, I was looking at it thinking there's something wrong with the muzzle. And essentially it was just had no shape to it. Certainly this side had no shape to it because the shading was wrong. Okay. And that also means that this chin is much too light. Much too light. Yeah, that will do. Indeed I did. But I said I was also going to finish this first, Wolfie. So, actually, a week ago, you said you wanted me to start carving. I agreed. But I do want to finish this. I don't want half-finished projects. And I do want to start carving. I would like to start carving as soon as I can, but I am going to finish this first. It is taking a bit longer than I was expecting. But often these do. I am still not sure yet whether to do something like a wand or to try and do something like one of the cards. And I think I've got wood to do both. That's true, yes, you're right. Didn't succeed, but that was approximately correct. And that looks like being at least a week later. Can be surprising sometimes just where time disappears to. But I think it is worth getting this right, spending the time to get it right, rather than just rushing it or just giving up and not finishing it. Which I wouldn't be allowed to do anyway, because Lady Zara wants this. So whether I finish it on stream or not, I certainly have to finish it. I'm thinking this top of the head just around here, so just over the top, needs to be a little bit darker. And come just a little bit further forward. And I'd better do the inside of the ears, because at the moment that's a bit bright. Yeah, I'm going to supply a little bit of colour around here. It's a bit too white. Let's look at the ears. So essentially fill the ears in, and then probably take a scalpel to them. Which is going to be fun, because I'm going to have to find my scalpel blades. I snapped the last one. Oh, excuse me. So I'll start by just underlaying a colour. Which I think needs to be a bit darker than that. Actually, I think you must be a lot darker than that, but we'll do this in stages. Yeah, so you're the OP one. Okay. Well, real life is more important, and I take it you enjoy kickboxing. You wouldn't be doing it if you didn't. So good luck with that. Excuse me a second, I need to go find a scalpel blade for my scalpel, which is currently bladeless. It snapped the other day. One thing you have to be careful of with scalpel blades, they're high tensile steel, so if they do snap, they sometimes shatter and they just go all over the place. And the sharp edges, of course, being a scalpel. It's a real surgical scalpel, by the way. Is this Swan Morton? And these are real surgical scalpel blades, except they've not been sterilised. It's the only difference. This is a real surgical scalpel blade. I think the gamma irradiate them. I think it's gamma irradiation if they want to sterilise them. So this is always the fun bit, because that goes in that slot there, and don't ever make the mistake of holding it there to push it on. You grab it there and pull. And sometimes if you're really sort of not sure about it, use a pair of pliers. And I'm going to need to use a pair of pliers because that won't actually... There we go, it's just snapped over the last bit there. So that's secure, it won't actually pull off. You've got to lift the blade at this end. So, I've got an ear. I've got an ear here, an ear here. So what we're going to do is see whether that's worth doing. It probably is. So I'm actually using the back of the blade here. Now I don't normally like scraping because you are actually disrupting the surface of the wood, like the sawdust is on the blade here. But sometimes you just can't. It would be difficult to get this sort of fine line almost any other way. You're thinking of talking of another way. Let me just try something. I have a sharp pointy object. Well, yeah, I suppose if it was just sort of a gym where you had sort of running machines and things like that, then I mean, some of those in some gyms they have like internet access and you can watch videos like YouTube on them, so you'd be able to watch me from within the gym whilst you're cycling or running or whatever. Now you really don't want to be doing this if you're going to apply more pyrography. And I kind of should make that darker. So before I go any further, I'm going to make some of it darker in here. An hour, but yeah, so you'd be able to watch about the last hour, wouldn't you? Because you're an hour ahead. And you can always watch the VOD, the recording. Thank you very much, Wolfie, that's kind of you. Well, you won't be going to the gym well, I'm assuming you're not going to the gym every night, so... Or are you? 2 or 3 times a week. Well, there you go. So if I ever decide to cut down how many nights a week I stream, and it's a thought that's crossed my mind from time to time, then I'll just have to pick the nights when you're not going to be around. But much as I'd like people to watch me, because that's good and potentially lucrative, I think it's much better if you get on and do something for yourself rather than just sitting around watching me. That's not what I'm looking for, that is. So, that's not turned out quite as much as good as I'd like, but it's not bad. So we'll do the other ear. Now the other ear though, I know a little bit better about what I'm trying to do. Now what I'm going to do is darken this down so that when I scratch the hairs out, I've got little bits of black behind it. Now I'm vaguely following the curve of an ear. That way any lines that you see, which I might create, vaguely correspond to how you might expect them to be if you drew a line. Okay, darken this down and then fill the outline in. Look at it go darker, basically just slow down the movement. More heat then gets applied and the darker the wood goes. Actually, let's turn this up a little bit. Use a bit more heat. It's a very matte colour here at the moment. Letting the right hand edge stay rough because it's got a vaguely sort of hair-like texture when I do that. Okay. Okay, now we fill this outer edge in, which is like a highlight. Right, highlights don't have to be white. All they need to be is slightly lighter than the area around them. So like there's a highlight there which is very, very subtle and hardly much brighter than the area next to it. It doesn't have to be white like this or this. Right, so let's add some scratches into that. It's not working as well as I hoped it might. Maybe have a look at that with a scalpel shortly. So I may look at it with a scalpel now. Okay, what I'm doing here is not digging the point in as such, but using the side of the blade. Sort of scraping it really. Can't actually quite get hold of the blade exactly how I want to do it. The purpose isn't to dig into the wood, as I explained accidentally did a couple of places there, but is to actually just scrape the top surface off. And one thing, by using the blade sideways like this, what it does is effectively creates thicker hairs. Okay, so that will do for that, at least for the moment. And then we're looking at an area here now. This looks too light. Much too light. One of the reasons for putting that in, you see, before it didn't. It looked okay. But with the when it was white, because you were looking against this area against white, and it looked quite dark. Now that we've put the darker ears in, it looks much too light. So again, adjusting the shadows, I'm looking at this and I'm seeing sort of an odd sort of shape. So that's why I'm just working in this area at the moment, just to smooth it off, dialing it down so I get the shape I'm expecting to see, which is kind of a curve. At the moment, it was and still is kind of more of a what it is. It's that area there, isn't it? That's doing it. We've still got a slight light patch there, but this area here. Yeah, it's coming closer around the face. Now then, here's me I didn't really want to do, and that is go back over where I scratched. So I'm kind of almost hovering the pen over the top and really touching really lightly. And with basically what is the hottest part of the pen. Now I'm doing that so I don't smooth out and flatten any of the scratches. No, it looks okay. From that side perspective there, so I do need to do more shading up here. This particular music has a very interesting, I was going to say Harry Potterish sort of sound to it, and the actual track from Abstraction is called Magical Education of Wizards. It's spellcasting, or the magic of spellcasting, which is quite amusing because it was sounded sort of magical. Guess magic has a sound. Everybody does. Everybody does, Wolfie. It's a biological reaction. It comes from long thousands and tens of thousands of years ago, caveman sort of thing. Intended to keep you in one place while you digest the food. Because if you're running about and chasing things and climbing trees, it's harder for your body to digest the food. So it makes you sleepy, so you stay in one place. Well, that's at least the way I understand anyway. And it's something that's really hard to fight as well. You find yourself dropping asleep even when you're trying really hard not to. In fact, for me, it's kind of weird, in that, yeah, I can drop asleep like that. I think, as you're saying, get sleepy. You suddenly find yourself, you've been sat, you're waking up, or you find that you can't stop yourself going to sleep when you sat there, and yet you go to bed, and it's never the same. Even if you have a big meal just before you go to bed, it's never the same. Now that's looking a lot better. Is that? Now, yeah. Well, at that point, of course, you've digested your food. Your body doesn't mind you running around and quite like you to go get some more food, type of thing. Because food is a scarce commodity that you've got to go chase around and chase down. Because a couple of millennium isn't very long for physiology and things like that to change, nature to change very quickly. Well, what's true of mice might not be true of other species. That is close. Okay. There is often a lot of stories, medical type stories that go out, and quite often they're just based on somebody's noticed something in statistics and they've done a bit of investigation, and there seems to be a correlation between things, and then but it's just that it's just in this particular sample there happened to be this correlation, and until it's and then of course what happens is the newspapers pick up on that and new breakthrough, or newly, and it's just and it's nothing until it's actually sort of being repeated and tested, and it might be true, and it often is just an anomaly. So that looks quite good. I think where's the I think I want a little bit more shading around here. And I think possibly as we go right back here. Yep, now I need to just extend the lighter shading out here. Now that's going to be slightly asymmetric. And it's going to be very slightly darker on the right hand side here than the left. Yeah, I probably will. Thanks very much for dropping in, Wolfie. Good evening, and thank you again for dropping in. I probably will be gone. I think I'm very close to finishing this, and what I probably am going to do is just leave, stop in a couple of minutes, leave it till tomorrow night, and take another look at it to add final touches. It's always best to come back leave something like this for a little while, walk away, come back, and then take another look, because then you spot things you didn't see previously. But I think that is quite close to being finished. I think for tonight I will switch that off. I'm also going to switch my glasses back. I can see better. Really close-up glasses, sort of not so close-up glasses, but when I'm trying to see details with these, I can't see details with these. It's kind of an odd feeling. That's not bad. I will say 6 foot art, it always looks better from a distance. You're seeing it. And the picture on screen is really good, just because of it sees the background as completely black. Here it's not, it's a dark brown. And your shadow across here is a lot deeper on the screen. But given that it's here, it still looks quite impressive. I'm quite pleased with it. So what I'm going to do is leave it for 24 hours, take another look at it then, and that will help see anything that I've missed, because it's very easy to get used to overlooking something. So you see a mistake and either go, I'll fix it tomorrow or next time, or your eye just stops seeing it, go away, completely different environment for a little while, come back in, and mistakes just stand out at you. Actually, what's missing is whiskers, which would be something to add, but because they will be scratch marks again, they are the very last thing I do. I don't want to be trying to put any pyrography over the top of whiskers. And I'll do a couple of black ones again, I think, but most of them are white. We won't be putting as many on as there are, just because it probably won't really add anything to do that. And scratching isn't really a very good way to do white, to be honest. I mean, the other way of doing it, which I don't have, would be to use a white pen. But you've got to be careful, because you want a grey. I mean, you look at them and see the white whiskers, they're not actually white. Well, they might be in real life, but when you put them on, when you look at a photograph or you look on, you think they're white because you know they're white, but they're actually not. They're really quite dark. And getting too white, I think, so using a white pen, for example, I'd actually have to use a really grey pen, but I use a white pen that just be stood out too far, and it's a bit like a rendering error in a computer game where something's on top of something it shouldn't be, and it looks really weird. What we might do is scratch them. If they look too white, we'll then turn them down with pyrography just over the top. What you do is you hold a pen really lightly over the top, or if you're using you've got a pen with a sharp edge on it, what you can do is turn it right down and then follow the scratch, and the scratch tends to keep the pen in the groove, which makes it easier to follow. So what I'm going to do is just say a few things. You can see down at the bottom zaragonart.com, that's my website. It's a work in progress. There's a little bit about some of the previous stuff, some of the earlier stuff. Not had much chance for a while to update that. It is a task for the future, is to update the website. Other things which have probably been popping, actually probably haven't been popping into chat. Oh yeah, Moobot's put a couple in there. Mentioning Facebook in there, there's a Facebook site, facebook.com/zaragonart. Also Twitter, twitter.com/zaragonart. I'm getting the idea now, it's Zaragonart. And of course there's the shop on Etsy, zaragonart.etsy.com, all the way around. That's mainly jewellery, although I do have an intent to put up some of the pyrography. So the Hearthstone cards, for example, may go on there. Probably are going to go on there, just as time allows me to put them on there. But mainly at the moment there is jewellery, chainmail jewellery, and some beadwork jewellery, which is what we also do on stream. In fact, everything that's on there has been done on stream, so it's possible to even see how it was done. If you're interested in buying any of that, it's all made to order, but if you are looking for some for Valentine's Day is coming up shortly, then get an order in early. It takes a little while to make these things. They're not they don't go together in 2 minutes. They take about an hour or so to put together. So if you're interested, take a look and order in earlier rather than later, so you're not disappointed. And talking about orders and things, mention up there, top right of the page, 3 buttons there. 1 for following the channel, get the notifications. Twitter will do that as well because I tweet when I go live. There's the bits if you want to help support the channel, and of course there's a subscription there which also supports the channel. All the proceeds of which go towards buying things like the wood. Good quality wood actually isn't as cheap as it might sound, and tools like pens, scalpel blades, which is what you just saw me put in today. They're a few pence each. Doesn't sound much, but you can go through quite a few of them, and they soon add up. So all these sorts of things, chisels. I don't know, even could do with a new camera at some point, so you can have a close-up view at the same time. Microphone stand. These are the sorts of things that it gets used for, or will get used for, over time as I save up and get these things. But anyway, next stream, if you would like to see the concluding part of this, where we put the whiskers on, that should be tomorrow night. I do at the moment stream almost always 7 nights a week. I start at as close after 7 PM UK time, that's on GMT at the moment, as I can. The start sometimes is delayed while I eat some food, always a good thing. And then the art stops me from going to sleep. And then we get some beautiful pict's done. So hopefully I'll see you all on the stream tomorrow night for the concluding part of Out of the Dark. I now sound like an advert for a television programme. And then we'll be able to move on to something else, which is almost certainly carving. I just don't know what. But with that, thank you again for watching. See you on the next stream. Bye for now.